It's happening. It happened, as the prophecy has foretold. The 1984 Star PSA 9, one of 3 copies currently on the population report. One recently sold here for $925,000 in a private sale, as reported here by Darren Rovell on collect.com. We're going to react to this article. There's some interesting little nuggets in there, and we're going to kind of talk about this thing all the way full circle, so make sure you stick around. What's going on, my sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. How the heck is everybody doing today?
I feel pretty good too. I think I finally got some sleep.
Now, before we get started talking about Darren's article and just kind of how this came to be, it's a big part of the reason why about a month ago I did pick up this card. It's the Star 101 Jordan in a PSA 5.5. And this is what I was kind of afraid of. And it's just runaway prices. And it's not because of anything other than, yes, you have an important card, a very important card, but limited supply of this card. Why did this price happen? How did $925,000 get achieved? I don't think that's proper grammar. I have a theory behind this. I don't know the ins and outs of all of this. And with collectibles, as we know, any collectible can sell for whatever someone is willing to pay for it at any given time. So it could have been $925, could have been $750, could have been $1.5, who knows? It's the Wild West collectible space. But I think a big reason why this happened is PSA started grading these cards going back about 2 years ago, two-ish years ago. And one thing that I saw and others saw fairly consistently is the BGS copies that were graded, because keep in mind that BGS was the only grading company that was willing to grade that 84 Star 101. And a lot of the PSA crossover grades, where they were basically cracking them out of BGS or maybe just sending in the BGS holder to cross it over, they were not coming back equal grades. PSA was grading those pretty tough, centering being issues. I mean, look, there's a lot of issues with those cards, but basically what I'm saying is you'd see a lot of BGS 8s coming back PSA 5s or 6s, or a BGS 7, it's a PSA 4 or 5. And maybe you have some really nice BGS copy, BGS 8.5 that comes back a PSA 7, PSA 8. I'm not saying they were all a couple grades lower, but consistently you were seeing that PSA was grading these tough. And what that has resulted in is 0 PSA 10s for the 84 Star exist. And there's 3 PSA 9s. 3 PSA 9s. So could the number of PSA 9s go up? It surely could. It surely could. But I'll tell you that, since PSA started grading these, I know that a lot of the folks that own these cards or ones that want to own it have been hunting, have been looking for these copies, whether it be in the team bags that they came in or just raw copies, and having trouble finding these cards that can grade in a high grade like that, a 9 or obviously a 10. It just hasn't happened. And so that's where I think that if you were someone that was a high-end buyer and you're sitting on the sidelines and this is a card that you've targeted, but you're like, you know what, I just want to see how this census plays out, how this population report plays out over the next couple years, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, they probably are thinking, okay, we are 2 years in to now everyone kind of rushing to get these graded, the copies that are available, the nice copies, and we have 3 9s and 0 10s. And so I think that maybe someone just said, you know what? I just want to own this card. I want to own a best copy of this card. And who knows? Maybe in 5 years, there's 6 or 7 PSA 9s. Maybe there's 1 10. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there. Can't see the future. But obviously somebody thought highly enough of the card and the rarity, the organic scarcity of the card to pull the trigger at that price point. Before I go on, we go to our Tuesday shout-outs. Wooten Sports Cards on Whatnot. He actually has a big event coming up on Thursday. I actually saw him on IG post really nice Luka Doncic cards. This guy sells out pretty much every week. 11,000 followers and 5-star reviews on Whatnot. Wooten Sports Cards is a monster over there. Definitely check out that Thursday event. It's going to be a good one. Card Capsule. You're looking for supplies, card supplies, cases. but you want them at affordable prices. On over to my link at cardcapsule.us, I believe is the web address, but I've got a link down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. Use the code SportsCardDad for 10% off your order of already well-priced supplies and cases. And last but not least, justcollect.com. You want to sell a collection? What's a resource for that? Go to justcollect.com. They will give you an appraisal on your collection. And check out on vintagebreaks.com Friday night. They're doing a 52 tops near set break. It's already sold out, but check it out in the chat. If you throw out that you got there from Sports Card Dad, you will get a $20 break credit to give vintagebreaks.com a shot. So the way that Darren presented this article was kind of interesting. And I guess maybe, hey, there's a clickbaitiness to this article and this YouTube stuff that I think everyone's kind of figured out at this point. But he kind of pinned it as an 84 star versus an 86 Fleer sale, and basically saying that $925,000 is higher than a PSA 10 copy that sold at $800,000+ during the height. We all remember going back to 2021, I think it was July 2021, a few massive sales that happened. On PWCC, there was that huge sale at $800,000 for a PSA 10. And so this is where Darren draws the comparison to the two cards. But man, to me, that's just kind of an apples versus oranges type of comparison. People in collectibles do this all the time, which I think is part of the fun, but also part of the problem. These cards are nowhere near the same to compare because of the supply. I made a recent YouTube short that said the 84 star is the most important Michael Jordan card, just my opinion, but let me explain. The most important Michael Jordan card because it was the first. It's going back to his rookie season. And everyone likes firsts, right? First appearances of characters, first edition books, rare books. Everyone likes the first. Now, the 86 Fleer Jordan is the most iconic Jordan card. It has the best photo of a Jordan card going back to the 80s, where you just didn't have a lot of Michael Jordan cards as a whole. Now, when you get into the 90s, you got rare inserts, you got PMGs, and you got the Star Rubies, and you got all the joyous, shiny stuff from the 90s. But the 80s is where it all began. But comparing the two cards as far as price point, I don't know. I didn't really like kind of how that was presented. I believe this is more of an and thing than an or thing. I want to have an 86 Fleer Jordan card. I'm just not in as much of a hurry because I know that I can get the card. It's more available. I was in more of a hurry to get the star card because I was concerned about stuff like this, where you do have a $900,000+ sale. And then if these cards with a limited supply, more limited supply, they start getting out of my price range, and then it's too late. And then it's kind of like, well, shoulda got it, shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's the reason why I got the star first. I also want to have an 86 Fleer Jordan. Like I said, it is the most iconic Jordan card. Now let's break down the actual sale because that part is a little interesting too. This was brokered by Acquire, which of course, another weird spelling, Acquire. You got collect, and you got Acquire. That was started by none other than Jesse Craig, who used to work at PWCC, and I think he was kind of a sales manager or something over there, but did a lot of deals with high-end buyers and sellers. Well, essentially, that's what he is now. He is a broker for high-end cards and a consignor. Because I was just looking at, I think it was his IG or somewhere, I saw where he's got looking for these cards, selling these cards, kind of looking to put buyers and sellers together for high-end sports cards. And then he also, it looks like he consigns with PWCC, which kind of ironic there just because I know he worked at PWCC, but the old leadership is pretty much gone after that company got absolutely annihilated by bad loans that they put out. And then Fanatics came in and really kind of saved the day, bought them out. And now it's a Fanatics company. Jesse Craig doesn't work there. The previous ownership is out. I mean, that's a Fanatics company now. It'll probably be called Fanatics Marketplace before long. So this is where I give Darren credit and where I like that we have a Darren. Darren says here that he saw bank statements or he saw kind of proof of purchase here to show that that star was sold at $925,000. Because a lot of what we've kind of seen in years past is record sale for something, and it's kind of like, trust me, bro. And there's kind of like, was there a check? Was there a trade? I remember this going back. What was it with like the Luka Doncic National Treasures or one of these massive $4 million Luka Doncic cards? And there was like a check, but then there was like a trade. It's just like, no, give me a clean transaction if you're going to come out here and throw it out as the largest card ever sold. because it does have downstream effects on people's, mindset of, oh my God, a card sold for millions of dollars. Wow, that's amazing. And it can influence folks. And again, it is one of those things. When you see a high-end sale for a very rare card, this particular sale for this 84 star Jordan, it does not mean that all the other Michael Jordan cards that exist go up. That's not how it works. I do think it could have an effect downstream on the other 84 star cards. It could, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't. Because like I said, that is the tippity top. That's the 0.01% for the 84 star. That's it. So naturally, people are going to pay a premium for the most rare copy as it sits now, the best condition, a PSA 9 copy. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the private sale thing. When we talk about a record sale and it's a private sale, it doesn't delegitimize the sale, but it's different than running a card at auction and having people compete for it and it gets up to a certain price. A private sale, again, money changes hands and all that, but there wasn't competition for it. You just had a monster buyer and a seller, and they made that sale happen. Now, the other part of the story that I thought was interesting, and I'm glad that they dove in, again, Darren did a good job here. He got comment from Dr. Beckett. Because if you go back to Beckett Magazine, going back to that first issue, 1990, I bought it when I was 9 years old. I was so fired up, and it had a big influence on me collecting basketball cards. This was kind of during that time, the David Robinson rookie, the 89 Hoops. He had the two versions, holding the jersey and then shooting the free throw awkwardly. Just kidding, it wasn't awkwardly. But it really gave a boost to basketball cards and the football card version as well. It was great. It was awesome because it showed all of us youngsters, hey, it's not just about baseball cards. There's also football and basketball. And Dr. Beckett, I've heard in interviews, has said that the basketball and the football magazines really propelled his business. That was really kind of a big boost. And hockey as well. You look at all the Canadians that collect hockey cards, that hockey card magazine, I remember the first issue with Wayne Gretzky on it. Tremendous. So anyway, they went back to Beckett because this is important, because Beckett listed the 86 Fleer as the rookie card in the magazine, and they had the star also in the magazine as an XRC, an extra rookie card, if you will. So Beckett wasn't downplaying the importance of 84 star. It was recognized there, but he was saying that because essentially that the 86 Fleer more widely produced, it was randomized in packs, that would be the true rookie card based on his definition. Whether there's agreement or disagreement on that, that's all up for debate, and that's the fun part of the hobby. Can debate whatever you'd like. And a big question mark around this was Beckett Magazine influenced by the fact that Fleer was really the premier company at that point, putting out basketball sets and having influence. Was Beckett influenced by Fleer's kind of top of the mountain manufacturer for basketball cards, whereas Star was really fading away or had faded away. Smaller company, had the license for a few years, wasn't really relevant as that magazine came out in 1990. And Beckett pushes back on that in the article, saying that, hey, look, Fleer was tough to deal with. It wasn't as if he agreed with them all the time. And he also says here in the article, per the article, that they had listed the Star card at $200 and the 86 Fleer at $175. So they had the value of that Star a little bit higher than the Fleer. Now, of course, where you get into all sorts of nuances, this is pre-grading, or PSA started 1990. PSA literally opened its doors about when this magazine came out. So in the magazine, of course, you're looking at near mint copies, excellent. You've kind of got a few different lanes that you're working with, but it's primitive compared to what you have today, where you've got everything broken down into numbered grades, where you can assess a 3 is worth this, a 5 is worth that, 7, and you've got comparable data to work with. And so it's a struggle. There wasn't even a gem mint designation. Gem mint was created by grading companies. It was just mint back in 1990. Mint copy, that was the best. So look, guys, there's so much nuance to this, but I do like that was pointed out that Beckett wasn't necessarily saying the 86 Fleer should be more valuable. He was just designating the 86 Fleer as the rookie card. As collectibles buyers, sellers, collectors, whatever, it's clear that based on supply, that 84 Star card should really always be more expensive than the 86 Fleer, just based on the availability, regardless of how you feel about whether it's the rookie card or the not rookie card or whatever. And maybe here we do have the 84 Star kind of playing a little bit of catch up on that front, whereas back then they did hold it. It was $200 compared to $175 in 1990. And over time, there was scandals with Star and there was things that were going on with the company and it just kind of gotten forgotten or lost. So now maybe these cards are looked at more on equal footing as far as overall hobby importance. But we'll see. And again, all up for interpretation, all up for a debate, and that's what makes our hobby fun. I hope that you all have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.